Welcome back to our channel. On this beautiful day, we are absolutely thrilled to dive into the latest developments of our favorite daytime drama. The upcoming week of June 8th through the 12th is shaping up to be an explosive one, filled with shocking revelations and heartbreaking twists. Let us jump right into the heart of Port Charles and explore the massive structural collisions awaiting us. As a viewer who has dedicated over 6 decades to watching the intricate lives of the residents of Port Charles unfold, I can confidently say that the upcoming week of June 8th through the 12th is going to deliver some of the most profound structural collisions we have ever witnessed. The sheer volume of family secrets, vindictive plots, and psychological manipulation currently brewing is staggering. I have always believed that the most compelling drama stems from the desperate lengths people will go to protect their loved ones, and this week perfectly exemplifies that timeless theme. We are looking at a landscape where hidden truths are threatening to shatter marriages, where legal battles are pushing young minds to the brink of collapse, and where the darkest elements of international espionage are destroying innocent lives. The intensity of these intersecting storylines is palpable, and I find myself on the edge of my seat, eagerly anticipating how these complex webs of deceit will finally unravel. Let us begin with the seemingly joyous news surrounding Brooke Lynn and Chase. Alexis has just delivered what appears to be a miraculous update regarding the adoption of young Phoebe. Alexis is firmly claiming that she has found no relatives to contest the adoption, effectively ensuring that Ethan Lovett will not pose a problem regarding his potential paternity. As someone who has watched Alexis navigate the murky waters of the legal system for years, I am immediately suspicious. Alexis is a brilliant legal mind, but she has a deeply ingrained habit of playing God with the truth when she believes she is acting for the greater good. Is she intentionally burying Ethan's connection to Phoebe to protect Brooke Lynn and Chase? I absolutely believe she is. Alexis knows that the Quartermaine family desperately needs a win, and she is willing to compromise her own ethical standards to secure this adoption. However, in Port Charles, buried secrets are merely ticking time bombs waiting for the worst possible moment to detonate. The primary threat to Alexis's carefully constructed lie is, unsurprisingly, Ava. Ava simply cannot allow sleeping dogs to lie, especially when she senses vulnerability. Despite Ethan's desperate desire to sever all ties with Delilah and walk away from this messy situation, Ava is relentlessly investigating Delilah's connection to the art gallery. Why does Ava insist on causing such chaos? It is in her very nature. Ava thrives on leverage, and discovering the truth about Ethan and Delilah would give her immense power over the Quartermaines and Alexis. I find it endlessly frustrating, yet utterly captivating to watch Ava systematically dismantle the fragile peace that others have built. If Ava uncovers the undeniable proof of Ethan's paternity, she will not hesitate to use it as a weapon, potentially destroying Brooke Lynn and Chase's dreams of adopting Phoebe in a single devastating blow. Speaking of destroying Brooke Lynn's happiness, we must address the chilling evolution of Michael. When I look at Michael today, I am profoundly struck by how fully he has embraced the dark, vindictive tactics of his family's legacy. Michael is currently operating as a shadow investigator in his own life, and his latest plot is nothing short of diabolical. He is actively scheming to expose Brooke Lynn as the true driver responsible for the hit-and-run accident that nearly cost Jordan Ashford her life. What could possibly drive Michael to betray someone so close to his family? The answer is pure, calculating manipulation. Michael wants to completely obliterate Brooke Lynn's marriage to Chase. He knows that Chase, a man fiercely dedicated to the law, would be shattered to learn that his wife committed such a heinous crime and covered it up. By detonating this explosive secret, Michael intends to leave Chase emotionally devastated and deeply vulnerable. Michael's ultimate goal in destroying this marriage is to push Chase directly into the waiting arms of Willow. I find it deeply disturbing that Michael is orchestrating his own wife's infidelity, but his logic is ruthlessly clear. He needs concrete blackmail material against Willow, and he is willing to sacrifice Brooke Lynn's entire life to get it. Willow is already crumbling under the immense stress of her past actions, and she is moving dangerously close to Chase for comfort. Brooklyn is fiercely territorial and is desperately trying to defend her marriage against Willow's encroaching presence, but she is completely unaware of the massive betrayal Michael is planning. Will Michael succeed in pushing Willow and Chase into a forbidden affair? Given Willow's current state of profound vulnerability and Chase's impending heartbreak, I fear that Michael's sinister trap will work flawlessly, leaving a trail of shattered lives in its wake. Shifting our focus to the Ashford family, the situation is equally dire and emotionally exhausting. Curtis is facing a brutal legal battle following his violent assault on Isaiah. Despite his desperate hopes for a plea deal to avoid prison time, Assistant District Turner is moving forward with the prosecution, leaving Curtis with no choice but to fight for his freedom in a highly publicized trial. I have always admired Curtis for his fierce protective instincts, but his pride and stubbornness have finally backed him into a corner from which he cannot simply fight his way out. The sheer weight of this impending trial is sending shockwaves through his entire family, creating an atmosphere of suffocating anxiety that is impossible to ignore. The person suffering the most from this legal nightmare is undoubtedly Trina. Trina is a remarkable young woman, but she is currently crumbling under the immense pressure of her father's potential incarceration. With her highly anticipated art show rapidly approaching, Trina should be focusing on her creative triumphs. Instead, she is completely distracted, her mind consumed by the terrifying possibility of losing her father to the prison system. Kai Taylor is watching Trina's emotional collapse with deep concern, and I share his profound worry. Will Trina's art show become a complete disaster due to this overwhelming family drama? It is highly likely. Trina is carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders, and without a massive intervention, I fear she is heading toward a total emotional breakdown right in front of the entire town. Amidst this intense family drama, we also see the younger generation struggling to process the chaos around them. Gio is feeling the heavy burden of these interconnected crises and wisely chooses to confide in Emma. Emma carries the grounded, resilient legacy of the Scorpio and Drake families, making her the perfect sounding board for Giovanni's deep concerns regarding either Trina's fragile state or Rocco's terrifying situation. It warms my heart to see the legacy characters stepping up to support the youth, providing a much-needed anchor of sanity in a town that is constantly spinning out of control. Giovanni needs guidance, and Emma's empathetic ear might be the exact comfort he requires to navigate these turbulent waters. Meanwhile, a deceptive calm surrounds Molly and Cody. They are currently enjoying a blissful romance, stealing precious moments of happiness, while Christina diligently prepares for her upcoming medical school graduation. However, as a veteran viewer, I know that this piece is entirely illusory. Molly is completely unaware of the dark, world-shattering secret that her family is desperately hiding. The fact that Alexis, Ava, and Christina held Rick captive is a ticking time bomb of monumental proportions. Cody is already consumed by guilt for lying to Molly about where he truly found Rick that day. How long can this fragile facade of happiness last? Not long at all. When Molly finally discovers that her own mother and sister orchestrated the kidnapping of her father, the emotional fallout will be catastrophic, completely destroying her trust in the people she loves most. The darkness in Port Charles is expanding far beyond family squabbles, reaching into the terrifying realm of international espionage. At the Windermere Laboratory, a truly sinister scenario is unfolding. The ruthless WSB operative Cullum has cornered Liesel, forcing her to take over the complex scientific project that her daughter Britt was forced to abandon. Liesel is a formidable woman with a history of mad science, but watching her trapped under the thumb of a sadistic criminal like Cullum is deeply unsettling. Liesel is only complying out of sheer necessity, driven by her fierce maternal instinct to protect her family. Will Liesel find a way to outsmart Cullum and turn his own project against him? I have no doubt that she is already calculating her revenge, but the immediate danger she faces is overwhelmingly real and incredibly tense. The reason Liesl is trapped is that Britt and young Rocco are currently on the run, desperately fleeing from the lethal forces closing in on them. A massive, high-stakes manhunt is underway. Sonny has deployed his top surveillance expert, Brick, to track down Britt and Rocco and bring them to safety. Simultaneously, Cullum is utilizing all the vast resources of the WSB to hunt them down. Britt is fiercely loyal and is forming a profound maternal bond with Rocco as they navigate this terrifying ordeal together. The tension is absolutely agonizing. Who will find them first? If Brick reaches them, they have a chance at survival. If Cullum's forces capture them, the consequences will be fatal. The race against time is exhilarating, and I cannot wait to see which formidable tracker makes the first major discovery. However, the most devastating and heartbreaking storyline of all centers entirely around Jocelyn Jack. Following her desperate and violent physical attack on her captor, the trauma of her terrifying ordeal has completely shattered her mind. Jocelyn is suffering a severe psychological breakdown, losing her grip on reality in a way that is incredibly painful to witness. She inherited her mother's fiery spirit, but no one could possibly withstand the level of psychological torment she has endured. The sheer agony of watching a vibrant young woman crumble into a state of profound mental instability is a testament to the incredible dramatic power of this show, but it also fills me with a deep, lingering sadness for her character. What makes Jocelyn's breakdown truly terrifying is how the WSB is weaponizing her fragile state. Cullum and Sidwell are master manipulators, and they are using Jocelyn's psychological collapse to justify taking absolute control over her life. Under the sinister guise of providing medical help, they are orchestrating a horrifying plan to ship Jocelyn off to a sterile WSB facility in France for intensive psychological treatment. As a longtime fan, this development sends chills down my spine because it directly mirrors the tragic, dark history of Anna, who was also psychologically broken and exiled by the WSB many years ago. Is the WSB genuinely trying to help Jocelyn? Absolutely not. They are neutralizing a dangerous witness, removing her from the board entirely to ensure their own unchecked power remains secure. The ultimate infuriating consequence of Jocelyn's forced exile is the absolute perversion of justice regarding her captor. Because Jocelyn has been officially deemed psychologically unfit and insane by the WSB's corrupt medical professionals, her credibility as a star witness is completely destroyed. This horrific legal loophole allows Cassius, the monster who has been masquerading as the beloved Nathan, to walk entirely free. The sheer injustice of this outcome makes my blood boil. Cassius manipulated Jocelyn's mind, drove her to the brink of madness, and now he gets to walk the streets of Port Charles without facing a single consequence, still wearing the stolen face of a hero. It is a massive victory for the villains and a devastating blow to the heroes.